Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are Two Guys and a Mouse. My name's Lance, and I'm here with Les. And on Two Guys and a Mouse, we give you the tips and tricks to getting the most out of your Disney vacation. So we are discussing the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, and that's coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back. Obviously, you don't go down to Food and Wine just to look at the pretty sights. Food and Wine is, for lack of a better term, a eat and drink your face off kind of thing, right? So,
yeah, you're there to indulge yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
That's essentially why people go, so.
Yeah, and, but before we actually get into, the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the Food and Wine Festival, let's talk a little bit about dining as a general thing for, Walt Disney World vacations and resorts. So what do they have? 3 different types of dining accommodations. So you have your quick service, which is your typical, cafeteria or like theme parky type foods, hot dogs, hamburgers, and the like. Although the quick service places, they do have some really, really good stuff on the menu. And, not to say that it's all fast food, but you can get some really good stuff. The whole crux of quick service meals is, it's counter service. You go up to a counter, you order your food, they give it to you, you find a place to sit down. So that's your first tier of dining option. Your second tier is a what's called a just regular dining service, or a sit down meal, which is, your typical, you go into a restaurant, they seat you, the waiter, waitress comes out, takes your food and drink order, etc. And that typically requires a dining reservation, only because of the amount of people that come through Walt Disney World. It is highly recommended, in some places required, that you get a dining reservation, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But typically you're going to need a dining reservation to go to a sit down. And then your next tier up is going to be your signature restaurants. Now these are the tip of the top, the creme de la creme. These are the, oh my God, I've died and gone to heaven. I'm eating here, and if I get hit by a car on my way back, I'm going to die a happy man. And these are your, Victoria and Albert's, your Yachtsman, which is one of my personal favorite restaurants down at Walt Disney World. And these, you definitely need to have a dining reservation. You definitely need to have a reservation. Matter of fact, I believe in some of these you have to have a dress code. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Les. I've never been disappointed with any of the food at any of the dining locations at Walt Disney World. What are some of your favorites, or what advice do you have to give our viewers as far as, just general dining?
So, I'll tell you what we've done and where I'd like to go moving forward. So, with each trip, we do a lot of, my family just personally likes the sit-down meal. So we are used to making dining reservations. We pretty much have our, sometimes we plan the parks, so we know what parks we're going to on what day, and then we will go after restaurants that are in those parks on that particular day. And I've even based trips based on around the dining reservations. So
nice.
Pre-COVID, when you did not have to have a park reservation, which you do now, we would have the dates set in our My Disney Experience app, and so Disney deals were coming down on this day to this day, and what it used to be was 6 months out is when you used to make your dining reservation. So,
all right, so I've had trips where I've gotten up early in the morning and I've been online right when dining reservations went live for my trips 6 months away, and I tried to quickly grab whatever restaurants that we said that we wanted to go to for that trip, and then depending on what the order was of the restaurants that we we got reservations for, then that's the park that we went to that day. So I've done it both ways. But moving forward to where we are today, you can't book dining reservations 6 months out anymore. It's now 60 days. So,
well, hopefully all of that changes, right, when things open back up fully, you know, and they start opening things back up, like with annual passes coming back and everything like that. Once everything kind of returns back to normal, right? So
right. And another piece of advice I would give is, we've seemed to get stuck in a rut, basically, where we would consistently go to the same restaurants every trip because we really, really like them. And that's great because you have an expectation of what the food is going to be. Obviously the menus change over time, but that prevented us from really expanding, going to other restaurants and trying new foods and or new drinks. So I've made it a point in these last few trips now that I mandate with my family that we have to try new restaurants that we've never been to before. And on this last trip in April, I think we went to 3 different restaurants we've never been to, and we love them all. So I'm so happy we did that. So I would just say, don't lock yourself into the same restaurants all the time. If you have a favorite one or two, sure, if you love them that much, go for it. But expand your palate and expand your experience while you're there.
Oh yeah, for sure. We kind of do a similar thing with rides, right? So because I have Yoshi, who's 11, and what we typically do for the ride situation is I'll say, okay, guys, whoever I'm going with, I want you to name 3 of your favorite rides that you must go on. Like I want to see, because we do a Disney wish list when we're planning. So we always say, give me 3 rides that you have been on before and that you have to go on again. Give me 3 rides that you've never been on before that you're curious about. Same thing with the restaurants. Give me 3 places where you want to eat that you've eaten before, and then give me 3 new places that you want to try. So, it really helps with the expanding. But we also, now at the time of recording, the Disney dining plan does not exist. However, in the past, Disney has offered with your resort reservation and ticket package a dining plan, and there are 4 different tiers of dining plan. You have the quick service dining plan, which gets you 2 quick service meals and 2 snacks and a resort mug that's refillable as many times as you want every 15 minutes for the entirety of your trip. You get 2 meals per day, 2 snacks per day for every night of your trip, and that's your quick service dining plan, at a quick service restaurant. Then you have the regular Disney dining plan, which gets you 2 snacks per day per person. You get the resort mug that's refillable at your resort. You also get 1 sit-down meal and 1 quick service meal. Then you have the Dining Plus plan, which is basically 2 sit-down meals and 2 snacks, right? And you can also do a combination of sit-down and quick service. So when you have higher tier dining plans, 2 quick service meals is equal to 1 sit-down meal. And then you have the Disney Deluxe, which gives you 3 sit-down down meals. Now, a sit-down meal could be a character dining experience or just a regular restaurant. It does not include the signature. The signature restaurants do in fact take 2 dining credits. So be aware of that when you're when and if the dining plans do eventually make their return. So, but, well, I mean, all that's left to talk about is the Food and Wine Festival itself and, what kind of goodness that they have to offer. But, we've run out of time for this episode, guys. But if you subscribe and turn notifications on, you'll be notified whenever we release new content. And when we drop that episode, we're going to talk a lot about the wonderful deliciousness of the Food and Wine Festival. All right, guys. Well, I'm Lance, and we've got Les with me. And hey, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.